when you talk about the most influential people in Latin America, you really can't even have that conversation without talking about my next guest. He travels all over the world, giving millions of followers a taste of towns that they've never seen close up. And today, he brings those adventures to us offline. This is Luisito Comunica. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much, John. It's so exciting to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me some of your time and giving me the opportunity to greet your audience.
Oh, no, of course. And you're traveling all over the world. So we're honored to have you in San Antonio right now. You could be literally anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm thrilled to be here. It's actually my second time here.
Okay.
But I mean, last time I was here, I was just for like a couple of days, so I don't really count it.
So you didn't get to like soak it all in yet.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't get to really do much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to be here. It's nice to talk to the people here. It seems so friendly and having a good time here.
Yeah, and you get to travel all over and try different types of foods and all this stuff. So have you had like San Antonio tacos yet?
Yes, I have.
Did they disappoint you?
No, not at all. No, it's really good. Like here in all the Texas state, when you interact with, let's say, like the Mexican people here or the Latin American in general, you learn a lot about what the culture of Tex-Mex is, right? And I find it really intriguing. Like I really like to learn about this. Like me being fully Mexican, living in Mexico. You come here, you talk to the Mexican people here, and even the words that we use are very different.
Right.
The food that we eat is super different. And but yeah, it's like a cultural mix that happens, and it's beautiful in its own way.
Yeah, and it's cool, man. I see you go all over the place, and I mean, for people that don't know, because I know that you have a huge following in the Latin culture.
Yes.
And I see you really coming up in the English-speaking audiences, and I see you're making a lot more content in English, which is great. But what a lot of people may not know is like the types of content that you create. And I've seen some people put you in the box of, oh, he's just an explorer or he's a foodie. But you're like a documentarian. Like you bring people in and you're in the culture with people.
Well, I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but how would you sum up? Like, how do you describe the type of content that you make?
I'd say I am explorer. I'd say like I go to different countries and I show the culture and I show the food and I talk to the people and I sort of show like what the current status of the country is, and I try to make it deep but simple to understand, I feel that sometimes like in the news and in the, I don't know, like we see a lot of news, we read a lot of news about complicated subjects that when I don't know, they explain it and they make it seem more complicated. So I like to think that what I do is like to take some complicated subjects, cultural, social, whatever, economic, and make them really understandable, like to sort of synthesize and make it understandable. That's what I like to think.
And we need that so much right now. I mean, we work in the news environment, and sometimes you only see the high-level stories and what's happening on a political or governmental level. But it's different when you sit down with people on the street and you share some street food with them.
That is true. No, that is true.
It changes your whole perspective about what's really going on in different parts of the world.
Yes, like you always hear like in the news, like I don't know, in Mexico, right? You always hear about another violence, whatever terrorist attack happened, right?
Yeah.
Another thing happened, another bad thing happened. So maybe somebody that doesn't really know what it's like to be with the people and to talk with the people.
Yeah.
And once you're in the place, you're like, okay, well, I understand this way better.
Right.
Talking with the people.
Well, and it's funny because we'll see like all the headlines saying danger, 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 and then you log in, it's like Luisito sitting on the corner just talking to people in the same place. It's like he's okay. Like what's going on, But I think you definitely make you remind us that people are just people.
Exactly. And I like to do this, like to go to, say, quote unquote, dangerous countries and to really like go with the people, talk with them. I don't know. I can tell you about, I've been to, let's say, Iraq, South Sudan, Pakistan, blah, blah, blah. Like many countries that generally people would be like, oh, no, you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't go there. But then you go there. You interact with the people and you realize that, as you say, humans are humans, and that's what makes us so similar but so different at the same time.
Right.
Yes.
I went to South Africa last year, and everybody was telling me, "Don't go to South Africa. Don't go to South Africa." And we had some stuff we were doing out there, and we working with kids. And when we got to South Africa, they tell their kids, "Don't go to America. It's dangerous over there."
Really?
And so we never would think that we're the dangerous country, but they see our news, and sometimes they have the perspective that we have about going overseas. Which
That
is
is true, man. That is true. If you allow me, I'd like to share a similar
Yeah.
story about when I was in Iraq.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing in America also. In Mexico, we have an image of Iraq that it's like a dangerous place, As you say, everybody's like, no, you shouldn't go there. And when I went there, I remember that I met some people that spoke English, and they told me, like, where are you from? I was like, well, Mexico. And they were shocked. They were like, what? Mexico? We have a Mexican here. And they started asking me all these questions like, hey, like, if I go there, will I get kidnapped? I mean, like, will I get killed if I'm in Mexico? Because that's all they hear about Mexico, like the violence and the big guns. And they're like, so everybody has a big gun right there.
Right.
And everybody does fentanyl in Mexico, right? And I'm like, whoa, let's chill out. But I find it interesting that many of the things that he said, that's what the society in Mexico would think of Iraq. So that's when you notice, like, nah, come on. Like, of course, bad things happen everywhere.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we all have our really cool and chill and safe things.
Right. And it's just the storytelling. It's just, how do you tell the story? That's what kind of makes people
That is true.
see
Yes.
what's real and what's not. But I mean, how did you get into traveling? Was this something you always did and then you started making content, or was it the other way? Like, where you found a way to make content specifically for travel?
I'd say that it was like a strike of luck, let's call it. Like, what happened was that I was doing internet for some years. Like, I've been doing internet for maybe 15 years, something like that. Like,
wow.
It's been a while. So it took me around, like, let's say 5 years to build an audience, like to actually have an audience. So when I started having viewers, like actual, I don't know, people that watched me, I started to get invited to like all these trips. That's what happens, right? When you become like an influencer or whatever, they start inviting you to trips and whatnot. I used to make content like only interviews in the street. Like, that was my content. But then I wanted to go to these trips because who doesn't want to go on a free trip, right?
Right.
So I was like, I might as well mix like the traveling with my content. And from there, people really started to like it. And they were like, do more of these, do more of these. So that's when I made like traveling my thing. Like, I didn't even know I liked traveling until I started, doing it and talking with the people and whatnot. And I found out that I like it and that I'm good at it.
Yeah. So you started traveling. I guess you started doing the content around it, and that's kind of when you caught the bug for travel.
Yes, exactly. Like, it was, I mean, I never traveled because I never really had like the money to do it because traveling is expensive.
And now they're probably paying you to go all over the world to just take it.
I mean, not like that. I'm like, all of it comes like from my investment,
Right.
It's like I don't like to work with agencies or get invited by countries or whatnot, because that always affects on what you can do or what you can say.
Yeah.
Like, it happens a lot that agencies of tourism or whatever, they contact me and they're like, hey, you should come to this country and whatnot. Or sometimes the government invites you, right? Like the authorities, they're like, come to the country and show and whatever. But when you take those opportunities, then they sort of show you what they want to show you. And they sort of like lean your... what's the word?
Almost like slanted to, it's almost a promotion for something specific, as opposed to you just being able to talk to people.
Yes, like they give you information that they want you to say and whatnot. And also, like, when you go on like sponsored trips, even if it's not government tourism, if you go on sponsored trips, say by a brand, you always have this limitation that you cannot say everything you want because the brand is not gonna like it, you know? Say that, I don't know, just to give an example, the televisions, Samsung, they invite you to a trip, right? And then you're at the country and you're like, well, I don't know, there's a big hunger problem here, so I have to talk about it. and the brand is gonna be like, oh, please, let's focus on the positives. Let's not talk about hunger. Let's not talk about violence. Let's just talk about, so that's when I don't really love it. So nowadays, all of my travels are an own investment.
No, you built your own brand.
Exactly.
And you can say what you want to say.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's great. So what was the piece of content that you think is like, you did this video and that's the video that just blew up and put you on the map? Like what country were you in? What was that shoot?
I mean, I'd say that the first, it's never been one video, but like a
build up into
exactly like many videos put together, right? So the first break that I had, like my first audience break, so I got really good at like talking to people in the street and finding funny interviews. Many of them were with were like at night with drunk people on the streets. Like that was at some point the concept of the videos. So that was like my first break. Like I got good at finding, like funny characters and blah, 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 and making the interviews and then editing them in a funny way. So that was like my first break. And then my second break, I'd say was so since I started talking to a lot of people like on the streets, I started making some really valuable connections. Say like with the people that live in the streets, like that people, I mean, they show you like their ways of living and whatnot. So as I got, like these unique opportunities of people that actually live on the streets and telling you like, hey, come see like how I live and come meet my friends and whatever, I was like, might as well do a little more profound content, not just funny laughs, haha, but a little more profound.
Yeah.
So I started doing these videos like, we're going to spend the day with a person that sells pants at the subway, and we're going to, just to give an example. So we started doing all of these, and then we're going to go inside the world of like the, what's the word in English? Piracy cigarettes. And then we're going to make a whole story about the piracy of alcohol, right? Like, how does the fake alcohol work, So I started doing these videos, and that was like my second break that people were like, oh, okay, so this guy, he's not just making, like funny content. He's also
it's like
going
actually
deep.
teaching. You're actually teaching them something. Yeah.
So that was like my main break. Like one of the videos was actually like the fake cigarettes versus real cigarettes. I mean, brand-wise, So I tested some like fake Marlboros with the real Marlboros. I go with the people in the street, have them try it. So this type of content really started like to hit.
Yeah. And the audience gave you that feedback, told you that hey, more of this, like we like this.
Yes, exactly. So that was like I'd say one of my big breaks audience-wise. Like that was my first video that I remember in a couple of days, it reached 1 million views.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, damn, like these are, like this
is working. Yeah.
These are serious numbers. Like, I mean, 1 million people.
Yeah.
And from there, it started growing.
Yeah. There's so many people, like I do a lot of tours here and we have a bunch of students that come in. They're always asking about content. Like, how do I make content? And what I see a lot of them do is they see a trend and they try to make content about that trend. And then when that trend is old, they try to jump on the next trend. And it sounds like it sounds like you just kind of fell in love with something and you started doing it and then just kind of followed the wave from there. But like, what would you say is good advice for building your brand and building your content game?
For any like person that is interested in doing content, always the first thing is consistency. As you say, trends are good for getting discovered, but also an advice that I would give here is yes, trends are good. Trends are cool. Music trends are easy to hop in, but always think about like the long term. And if all of your content is trends based on music, then that means that content sadly is not yours. I mean, and I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Like, let's say the new Bad Bunny song is trending, right? And everybody's doing the little dance and woo, 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 right? And it gets you easy views. So you go ahead and you do the dance and blah, 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 and you get views. But there's no way you're going to see one dime out of that. Like, It's like all the money you're making from your content, guess who's making money? The musician. I mean, and sometimes not even the musician. The record companies, the music companies, they're making money off of your content.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's good to hop on these trends, but also try to make content with music that has a free license, B-roll that has a free license or that you own.
Yeah.
Because then you can use it in all the platforms, right? So say right now you can try Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Tomorrow there's gonna be a new platform.
Yeah.
So try, re-upload content, and it's gonna keep on making you money. So that would be like a valuable advice for.
No, that's good, dude. That's so good because it sounds like the trends that you're talking about. Everybody's just jumping in doing stuff. That's like a hook to bring them to your actual content.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Because then
see it as
people
a
go to
hook.
your page and they're like, oh, that all they do is they do other people's trends.
Yes. So use it as a hook. Yeah. And then, attract them to the rest of your content.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's for sure a great strategy.
Dude, that's great. That's great. And I know so you've gone all over the world. You've tried all kinds of food because it seems like not just the interviews, talking to people, you introduced the food component.
Yes.
So like, what's the craziest thing you've eaten in one of these countries?
I'd say, so I have this section in my channel. It's called Luisillo el Gordillo.
Yeah.
Which means like Luisillo, the guy that eats a lot, So I started making these videos maybe like, it's been a while, maybe 7-8 years ago, something like that. And it's basically like going out to the streets in any country and trying the street food, right? Like the local actual street food. As the years have gone by, the content has grown into something more like, let's go try. And now you don't just see me trying the food and reacting, but now you see me talking with the chefs, talking with the cooks, interviewing them, saying a little bit about the history of the dish, why is it important, blah, blah, blah. It's involved into this. But generally, it's just watching me eating interesting stuff. So I don't know. I guess I could say you like a lot of dishes. One of the one that comes to my mind now is last year I was traveling through Vietnam. There I've had some of the strangest street food ever. Like
what? Like what? Because I know sometimes they'll watch you and see if you actually eat it.
Yeah, I mean, people there even eat dog. I mean, it's and it's legal in some cities still.
Yeah.
Like to eat dog, and you see it like in the streets, like they cook the dog, like it happens. Yeah. But I mean, a little less graphic than that. I could tell you in a place they cooked me a worm omelette. Worms, what's another word to say worm? Gusano. Worm, right? WORM.
Yeah, worm.
Worm. Huh?
A worm omelet. Is that
worm omelet? Yeah, like earthworms.
In an omelet.
In an omelet, yeah. So it's really fascinating because they took me, like to the fields.
Yeah.
To catch the worm first,
So you have to pick it yourself.
Yeah, so I had to pick
I thought we were going to IHOP.
Like my own worms and collect like a bunch of them because it's protein, It's so like a bunch of them. And then going like with the actual farmers, and cooking the omelet. Like with the worms and then trying it. And
what do they call that? What's
I don't remember the name, but
is this? And you said this is in Vietnam?
This was in Vietnam. I'm guessing they eat it in, I don't know, Cambodia.
Yeah.
I don't know, Laos. Like all of those countries, they must eat the same thing.
Right.
Also, one of the dishes that you try there, I don't remember how they called it there, but it's like so the egg, they eat it once the little bird has grown like to its, let's say, 60%.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so they wait for like the bird to grow, the animal. And once it's like maybe 50, 60% developed, they boil it a little bit. This way the animal stops growing, it dies. And when you break the egg, you can actually see the animal with the feathers, when you bite it, you can even feel like the peak, Not good. Yeah. But they say it's a lot of protein, and I believe them because it's like a baby bird. Of course, there's a lot of protein.
I don't know if I need that much protein.
A
worm omelet and eating a baby chicken, and then my daughters would never forgive me. I'd be sleeping outside.
Yes,
you killed it. I don't know. That's intense, but sometimes it's like culture though, because it's like really disrespectful if somebody prepares something for you. And some cultures, if you just sit there and don't eat it,
And I mean, and it's always fascinating to see what animals it's acceptable to eat all over the world, right? Like, I find that really fascinating. Like, I don't know. You tell somebody about eating a monkey here, and it's like, wow, you cannot even think about it.
Right.
But then you go to India and you're like, oh, I'm going to eat a cow. And they're like, whoa, it's like scary, you know?
Wow.
Or you go to a Muslim country and you're like, I'm going to have some pig. And they're going to be like, no, that's a big sin. And it's like the dirtiest animal. Yeah. I always find it interesting to see what animals it's acceptable to eat in each country, you know? And at the end of the day, it's going to happen. It's part of their living. And might as well go with it.
But I'll be honest. I think that's what makes you so good at what you do. It's that you don't go there with a judgment about these people. You're just kind of like an open book and you're just curious. And I heard there was this, I think he's a consultant or something like that. He said it's better to be interested than interesting. When you go and you do content like this, instead of going there to be a star and like, hey, look at me, I'm in India. Look at me, I'm in Africa. It's like, hey, let's go find out what's going on in India. Let's find out what's happening in Africa.
Yeah. This is true. And it's I forgot my thought. I lost my train of thought.
Talking about baby chicken.
India.
We talked about worm omelet.
And
we talked about being interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll come back to me. But no. I got it. Yeah. Yeah, because like every time I go to like a new country, I try to see it as it is, that it is another person's home, right? So I always see it like you're going to go to another person's home and you're going to talk about that person's home. And then that person is going to see what you said about their home, right?
Right.
So I always see it as, you know, you go to your dirty uncle's house, you know, like, I don't know. And then you're going to film an Instagram story there, right? You're not going to be like, okay, so we're at my dirty uncle's house.
It was trash. There's trash
so
everywhere.
Bad, and there's a lot of cockroaches, and he eats like so bad every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to go there and you, it doesn't matter what is going on like here. You have to neutralize it and be like, all right, so we're at my uncle's house. He can be a little dirty, but of course he's super nice. He's super cool. We have some cockroaches here, but it's part of the diversity, the biodiversity that he has.
It's protein. It's crunchy protein.
So I always see it like that, like a place that you visited somebody else's home.
Yeah.
So sort of like try to immerse and be respectful.
Nah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it always, again, points back to the people.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. So, I mean, with you going all over the world, trying all kinds of food, seeing all kinds of success online, what's your next big venture?
My next big venture, I don't really know. Like, I'm not a guy that usually plans things. Like, I just try to go.
Let's go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow, see what happens. I'd say that now I'm super focused on, like, keep on making videos. Yeah, some people tell me, like, haven't you gotten tired of it? Like, because I've been doing videos for a long time, and I've been really consistent on it.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's part of, like, the success, like, part of why people watch it is because I've been so consistent. And I feel that now I am making like way better videos than I did before. And I'm sure that in 5 years, I'm going to do way more better videos. So before jumping into another, let's say, platform of entertainment or whatever, you know, like we're always curious about how it would be like to make a long documentary or a movie or a TV show, sell a TV show to one of these big streamers and they give you like $1 million. And, you know, we all want that. But me personally, first, I want to be, you know, like make the best content that I can, like in my possibilities, like with my small crew, and then jump to the next phase. So then if one day I jump to the next phase, I'll be ready for it. You know, I won't be making, you know, like a lukewarm content. I want to make like the hot content. You know?
Well, I mean, you could tell that you love what you do. Like, it doesn't look like you're doing it to be a star, to just have business. It seems like you're just enjoying your time and just taking us on the journey with you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, like you're out there just playing like Dora the Explorer. It's like, hey, we're out here too. And
yes.
you know, but it's cool because you're just doing what you love. And that translates on this stuff. And you haven't compromised that.
That is true. That is true. Always like when you find a thing that you love and you can make it your job, then that's like the biggest fortune out there. I always say like the biggest fortune that you can have is to be able to own your own time, you know, and decide your own things and be like, okay, so today I'm going to work in this because I decided. That's, I think, like the most valuable thing that anybody can aspire.
It's freedom. Yeah.
It's freedom. Yeah.
That's great, man. And I heard that, you know, speaking of that, you're getting into business.
Yes.
Talk to me about it.
So I mean, I've always been like a business guy.
Yeah.
I've always been like Mr. Crab, you know, from SpongeBob.
Yeah,
You
Mr.
know,
Crab.
yeah,
Me
sort
money.
of, yeah, sort of like that.
There's a really creepy theory about that. We'll come back to it, but just remind me.
About what? Like,
About Mr. Crab.
really?
Yes. I don't remember who told me. Like one of these kids that had come here for a tour or something, they told me something weird about Mr. Crab. They said that he's the only crab on Bikini Bottom for a reason. And they said something about the burgers. It was weird. But anyway, go ahead.
I might as well investigate this.
Yeah, investigate it, look into it. We'll do like a Kins 5 investigation, figure out what happened to all the crabs at Bikini Bottom and what Mr. Crab is actually selling. We'll see.
Yeah, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Like we're curious about
I'm
this.
curious too. I got to get to the bottom of that.
In Spanish, we call those theories creepypastas.
Creepy pastas.
I don't know why. That's why, like, say you grab a, like, I don't know if here in America you used to watch this cartoon, the Super Champs. It was like a Japanese cartoon, I think. So the cartoon
Okay.
is pretty much kids
I haven't seen
playing soccer. That's the cartoon.
Okay.
But then there's like a big creepypasta, like a theory like this.
Yeah.
That the kid, he was always in a coma, and all that we saw in the cartoon, it was his dreams.
It was him. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like you grab a friendly kids cartoon and then you drop one of these and everybody's like, what? Or like
yeah.
Rugrats, you know this cartoon?
Yeah. I used to watch that when I
They
was
say
little.
that all of the kids were in the mind of Angelica, and that Angelica was just paranoid and
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So I thought the same thing. I was talking to my wife about this, that Home Alone was a nightmare that Kevin had when he got grounded and went upstairs. That the whole thing of him being left behind wasn't actually him being left. It was like him having a horrible dream about being left.
Oh, that's also another one.
So
There
that's
we
a
go.
creepypasta.
Yeah, I mean that's what we call it in, at least in Mexican Spanish. I don't know.
Oh man,
Like
I gotta
a
figure out the English thing
disturbing
for that.
theory.
Yeah, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
anyway, you were talking about your business. I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So pretty much I've been always like into businesses. Like since I was young, I was always the kid that at school sold candies or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like I was always looking for the extra buck.
Right.
And so it's been maybe like 7-8 years that I started, you know, like building businesses. First thing that I tried, of course, was merch. You know, like that's like the most basic one. You know, selling T-shirts, selling whatever, backpacks, hats, whatnot.
Yeah.
Then I started maybe expanding like with the book businesses. You know, like you get in the book business, and it's very common, right? That
Yeah.
influencers make books. So yeah, that's another one. And I'd say like since 2019, 2020, I've gotten into more like, say, restaurants, Japanese restaurants. I have a bunch of them. And it's...
Oh, that's perfect for your brand too.
Yeah, because
That's
I really
perfect.
love like Japan and like the food and whatever.
Right.
And also for making videos, it's so cool to have restaurants because you can make awesome videos that also advertise the restaurants.
Yeah.
Say, for example, me and my partner, we have some ramen shops. So we're always making like these promotions, like the biggest ramen in Mexico, the most spicy ramen in Mexico, the most expensive ramen in Mexico. So
Nice.
then you have like a big viral video, and
Yeah.
then you have like a big ad for your.
It's a commercial
businesses.
for your business and
Yeah.
the business. Yeah. So it all feeds itself.
Yes, yes.
That's really cool.
And one of the businesses that is booming now, it's actually an alcohol brand that I started with some partners 5 years ago.
Got it.
Gran Malo. So the name translates as the big bad one, the baddest one. We put it in all of Mexico. The flavor is like spicy tamarind. So that's also like a flavor that is trending a lot right now. United States market, it's so big and there's such a big opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited and so proud about all the work that the team has done and the work of the American team. And yeah, it's all like a teamwork, and we're so happy with the brand.
Yeah, man. Well, it's congrats on all the business success and everything that you're doing. But
Thank
I
you.
do see you. I mean, the consistency has paid off because I do see really a breakthrough into the English speaking audience. I think American audiences are going to really start tapping into what you're doing.
I hope. I mean, I'd say it's not like my main goal, but I am dubbing my content now. I'm dubbing it to different languages,
Yeah.
of course, English. And in my most viral videos, I want to try doing a human dubbing. In this way, making an experiment and seeing if the content can grow more.
Right.
You know, like, because I do have like some viral gems there that I feel that can be exploited a little more. And it's no mystery that if you reach, like, let's say the United States audience, then you can make like a whole lot more money.
Yeah.
Like this is something that most people might not know. But like the views on YouTube, they pay you based on which country is watching you, right?
Yeah.
So say like in Mexico, they might pay me, and this is all like an approximate,
Right.
but they might pay me, I don't know, $2.50 per 1,000 views, approximate. Okay, in the US, it might go up to $5, $6, $7 maybe.
Wow.
Australia, I think is one of the most like the highest one. I think they're up to $8, $9. And please let me emphasize, I think, because I don't know. I don't get views
Well,
from
listen,
Australia.
I definitely don't know, but
but I do know that the American views, they pay way more. Like
well,
way more.
let's get those American views up. Why don't you tell
Yes.
us right now, since we're offline?
Yes.
Tell us how our American audience can support. Like, how can we follow you? Tell us about the platforms. Here's your plug.
Luisito Comunica.
That's it.
So yeah, look me up on any platform, and maybe you'll find some well-dubbed content that you can understand.
And then you can also get the courage to travel. Get on the plane and go take an adventure with Luisito.
Yes, please do. I'd be honored.
There you go. Bro, it's so good to have you here, man. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No, Johnny, please, thank you for having me. Really cool conversation, and thank you for everybody listening and watching.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do it again, maybe overseas.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Sure.
Over a worm omelet.
Yes, let's do that.